Who makes money off war? Well, the answer is no one makes money off war. It's costly for both sides and nobody earns money. Yeah, well, that's it. Well, is that good? Did you guys get it? You guys got it? Okay, that's a cut. I think that's a cut. All right, that's a wrap. Huh? Start editing. That was a very easy video. I wish that was the case. The truth is a lot more complicated. This is war, and so is this, and so is this. What do you see? Do you see patriotic citizens defending their country? Or do you see something else? War is a very complicated and confusing topic. Sometimes it starts without warning. It can encompass the whole globe, or it can stay concentrated in a specific desert country. Most of the time, war lasts several years, if not decades. It is a long, bloody, drawn-out conflict that doesn't seem to have a clear winner. In fact, most of the times with war, there are two clear losers. It's not just the time and money spent, it's the millions of deaths lost on either side of the conflict. And we shouldn't just focus on the millions of deaths, although that is the biggest cost of war. We also need to realize that there is property damage worth billions of dollars. Not to mention emotional damage that simply just can't be quantified. With war, everyone loses. What if I told you that in every recent conflict in modern civilization, there's been a clear winner? And this winner isn't just on one side of the conflict. It's actually on both, pulling strings from both sides, reaping rewards from both sides. Thank you, come on now, thank you. Oh, thank you, come on, oh yeah, thank you. What if I told you the winner didn't face any downside? No property destruction, no emotional damage, and most importantly, no death. Well, that actually happens to be the case. You see, there's not just one of these winners every conflict. There's several, hundreds, if not thousands, in each war. These are what I like to call war profiteers. What do you see here? Apache helicopters, main battle tanks, soldiers, machine guns? Well, that's not what the profiteers see. They see money. And a whole lot of it. That helicopter was $100 million in revenue. That tank, $5 million. That soldier, well, that's where the fun begins. That bulletproof Kevlar helmet cost $322. That desert camo uniform cost $68. The body armor, $1,620. The bio and chem gear, $350. Walkie-talkie, $586. Those boots, $105. That M16 rifle, $568. For a grand total of $4,650. Dang, I kind of wanted to buy some of that gear. Guess I won't be able to afford to, unless you subscribe. Oh, and there are 1.3 million soldiers in the United States alone. So if we do some quick math, we find that this is over $6 billion of American taxpayer money that goes straight into these soldiers. And not just these soldiers' equipment, that's not referring to the tanks and the helicopters. And all this money in the United States comes from the taxpayer and goes straight to the people who profit off the war. The defense contractors. American defense contractors account for 57% of global arms production. And these companies aren't limited to benefit just from one side of the war. They can sell to both sides and profit in the process. This is Lockheed Martin. It is the world's largest defense contractor. This company is absolutely massive. In fact, the amount of money that Lockheed Martin gets just from US defense contracts alone is more than the annual budgets of the IRS and the EPA combined. And that probably was just a Lockheed Martin bomb, so they probably profited off this YouTube video as well. And since Lockheed Martin is a public company, all of its financial statements are available to the public. So I went ahead and printed them off. Just kidding, these are notes from one of my classes, but still, I printed off the top page. And I want to share that with you, the balance sheet numbers for Lockheed Martin. If we just look at their profit in 2021, we find that it was a whopping $6,315 million. Let's put that into a little bit of perspective here. If every dollar was a person, that'd be pretty much the size of the world population. Yeah, that's a lot of money. And like I said earlier, companies like Lockheed Martin, their stock is public. And what this means is that other people can profit from the war as well. Any shareholders that own the stock can see some of the benefits of the profits that Lockheed Martin gets. And this leads into another group that benefits from war. Enter congressmen. Hi, I'm your congressman. I do the laws and legislation for your country. Now, I try to keep you out of war unless I can actually profit from it, which I do most of the time. Wait, I didn't say that. Hey, wait, I didn't say that. 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 Okay, sorry. A little bit stressed out there. I don't want to land another lawsuit. I'm here for my own gain, not yours. So I don't really want to hear it. Is that freaking clear? I don't want to hear it about that lobbying, extortion, patronage, embezzlement. I don't want to hear it. Why are you recording me? Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. These congressmen have the first news on any bills that they're going to pass and any legislation that comes their way. And so they're the first to know if a country is going to declare war. And because they have this information before the rest of the public does, they can go ahead and buy the stock at a lower price, because once war is declared, the stock of Lockheed Martin or any other defense contractor will go up exponentially. And this is a finance channel, so I'm pretty sure all of you guys already know this. But for those of you who don't, let me just really explain that really quick. So when a company has news released to the public, or when government passes legislation that affects a certain company, the stock price of that company will change drastically depending on if the information is good for the company or bad for the company. And so oftentimes people can benefit when they have this sort of insider information. Okay, but aren't there laws against insider trading? The answer is yes. Enter the Stock Act. This act was passed in 2012 following more than 10 years of allegations of congressmen insider trading. The goal of this act was to prevent any congressman or any congresswoman from buying stocks based on the information that they had on their legislation. The rules of this act were simple. It made congressmen and women have to report any trade that they made over $1,000 within 30 to 45 days of doing the trade. So this left a little bit of room open for smaller trades. Any trade under $1,000 would go unreported, so this would only hurt them if the trade is more than $1,000. Okay, but what were the punishments? I mean, did this actually work? Did this do what it was supposed to do, this Stock Act? Did it help prevent these politicians from making money off work? Well, the answer is no. It didn't work. Absolute fail. Complete fail. I mean, it failed harder than I did in chemistry. And that's saying something. It has done very little to prevent the corruption and insider trading that naturally occurs, and so it continues to occur. But like I said earlier, there are several other types of profiters. It's not just the congressmen, and it's not just the defense contractors. There's another party involved. Enter investment banks.
Hi, I'm an investment bank, and I like to make money, especially in stocks. I have lots of assistants. Speaking about assistants, Andrea, where's my freaking avocado toast? It's power hour, for goodness sakes. How am I going to be able to trade? Goodness, sometimes these assistants, Crazy, man, crazy.
We can see how investment banks profited off the war just by looking at the most recent war, the Ukraine war. When Russia invaded Ukraine, the price of debt in Russia plummeted. No one wanted to hold this debt. And as a result, it became super cheap for anybody outside of Russia or even inside of Russia to buy Russian debt. Institutions and businesses were leaving Russia, and so nobody wanted to buy these bonds. To make it worse, sanctions limited the sale and purchase of these bonds outside of Russia. However, there was a little loophole created, and this loophole was created so that businesses and people in the United States could sell their debt. But this loophole also created an ability for companies inside of the United States to buy the debt at the dirt cheap prices. This little window was all a bunch of major investment banks needed. They were able to work through this little window hole at the beginning of the war, this little loophole, and purchase this Russian debt that was dirt cheap. And then, as the war progressed and the Russian debt became more valuable, over time it just goes back to the original value, they were able to sell this debt to hedge funds and make a lot of money in the process, resulting on the spread. Now, the profiting isn't just limited to the United States. A lot of profiting from war, whether the United States is involved in it or not, happens outside of the States. And these people are called third-party contractors, or also known as civilian contractors. In the Afghanistan war, the United States military outsourced every single task it could in order to hopefully save money in the process, so you didn't have to ship out their own soldiers to do tasks that could be outsourced. So the United States was able to outsource pretty much every task, so maintenance, cooking, laundry, overland logistics, and even security. In fact, from 2007 to 2020, there were more defense contractors than there were US soldiers, by a factor of 3 to 1. That's a pretty large difference, isn't it? A good example of a civilian contractor who made a killing off the Afghanistan war was an Afghan citizen he owned a trucking company in Afghanistan and trucked supplies back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. During the course of the war, he earned more than $60 million while doing contracts for the United States military. What he would do is he'd just basically pick up supplies and drop supplies off. And he signed contracts with the United States military so that they would pay him for every ride he delivered. And he was able to make millions of dollars just driving goods back and forth. Kind of makes me want to set up like a trucking business inside a war country. I mean, how hard would it be? Do you want to help me fight my war? If so, drop a like. We can defeat this YouTube algorithm together. As always, love, serve, and help the people around you. I am your boy, Stephen Ethan, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.